Well, my wife is going to be my worst critic. She's going to say, I can't believe you said that. I'll have to go back to my early childhood in Georgetown, Kentucky, where I lived in a town where I couldn't do all the things that anybody else could. I could not sit downstairs in the theater, could not drink water from the white water fountain, couldn't go to the white restroom. And I thought to myself at the time, this isn't right. And that was my first exposure to realize that we weren't treated equally, and we were treated differently, and we were treated in somewhat of an inferior fashion. And I got committed at that point to, I got to do something about this. This isn't right. During the time that in the 1920s, that these group of dressed up African Americans men came together, things were tough. That touches me because the thing that this picture tells me, if these folks under those conditions with those resources can come together and do something as dramatic as raising $850,000 to make the facility that I'm sitting in here today a reality, there's nothing in the world that we can't do if we would collaborate and work together and recognize where problems exist and work hard to try to overcome them. It's throughout my career at the City of Dayton, I always tried to offer myself as a mentor for those young people coming behind me. Just as I was mentored when I first came to the City of Dayton by the likes of C.J. McGlynn and James H. McGee and Don Crawford and some of the individuals that were at the City of Dayton at the time that mentored me and planted these footsteps in the sand that I tried to follow. It was nice to see somebody that looked like me in positions of authority, power, and making a difference in the world. When I first started working for the City of Dayton, there were very, very few African Americans, especially in key positions. But by the time I left the City of Dayton, it was just the opposite. We had a representative number of people in key positions. So when I was able to come to the City of Dayton as a college intern, these African American males and African American females that were there reached out to me as a young college student and said, hey young man, what are you going to do with yourself? What are you planning to do? How are you going to help the world out? And those individuals motivated me to make sure that my service at the City of Dayton was reaching out to people that needed my assistance and those young people that were coming after me. And my commitment today is to try to leave my footsteps in the sand and reach back and allow for those young people behind me to follow those footsteps. And there's nothing that makes you prouder than to see somebody that you have a little influence on go and do better things and do better than your mentor, right?